Hello everyone. Welcome back to the channel. Today, we are exploring one of the most haunting and unforgettable short stories in American literature. A Rose for Emily by William Faulkner. This story is not told in a straight line. Instead, it slowly reveals a dark secret hidden behind tradition, loneliness, and resistance to change. In this lesson, we will understand the story clearly, follow the 5 stages of plot, analyze it using the key elements of prose. By the end, you will understand why Miss Emily is both feared and pitied, and why this story stays in our minds long after reading it. Let's begin by understanding the story itself. A Rose for Emily tells the story of Miss Emily Grierson, a woman born into an old and proud Southern family. From a young age, Emily lives under the strict control of her father, who drives away all potential suitors and keeps her emotionally isolated. When he dies, Emily is unable to accept the loss, and even refuses to admit his death for several days. Later, she becomes involved with Homer Barron, a northern laborer who represents modern ideas and change. Their relationship shocks the town and becomes the subject of gossip. When Homer suddenly disappears, Emily withdraws completely from society. For years, she lives alone inside her decaying house, cut off from the outside world. Only after Miss Emily's death does the town discover the horrifying truth that she has kept Homer's dead body locked inside an upstairs room. The story ends with this shocking revelation, forcing us to understand Emily's life as one shaped by loneliness, control, fear of abandonment, and emotional trauma. Now, let's analyze how this story is constructed using the elements of prose. To analyze this story properly, we use 6 important elements of prose. These elements help us understand not only what happens, but why it happens, and what Faulkner wants us to realize about society and human behavior. Let's explore them one by one. First, let's look at the characters. Miss Emily Grierson is the central character. She is proud, emotionally isolated, and deeply attached to the past. She refuses to accept change, whether it is paying taxes or letting go of love. Her father represents control and social pride. He drives away potential suitors and leaves Emily emotionally helpless after his death. Homer Barron is an outsider, a northerner and a working man. His presence challenges Southern traditions and creates tension. The town itself acts as a collective character, observing, judging, and gossiping, but never truly helping. Now, let's see where all of this takes place. The story is set in the town of Jefferson, Mississippi. Emily's house once stood proudly among elegant homes, but over time, it becomes surrounded by garages and cotton gins. The decaying house symbolizes Emily herself, outdated, isolated, and resisting modern life. The setting reflects a society struggling between tradition and change. Next, let's look at how the story unfolds through the plot. The plot of A Rose for Emily develops slowly and mysteriously. following the 5 stages of plot development. Although the events are told out of chronological order, the story begins by introducing Miss Emily after her death. Through the collective voice of the town, we learn about her aristocratic background, her strict father, and her isolation from society. Her decaying house becomes a symbol of the past that refuses to disappear. As time moves forward, changes begin to disturb this quiet and controlled world. Rising action. After her father's death, Emily becomes involved with Homer Baron, a man who does not belong to her social class. The townspeople gossip and grow suspicious as Emily defies social expectations. Her purchase of arsenic and Homer's sudden absence increase tension and mystery. Gradually, the story reaches a point where questions can no longer be ignored. The climax occurs when Homer Baron disappears completely. Although the truth is not revealed at this moment, his disappearance marks a turning point. This is where Emily's inner fear of abandonment silently takes control. After this turning point, the story moves into a long period of silence and withdrawal. Falling action. Emily withdraws from public life and lives alone in her house for many years. Time passes, generations change, and the town modernizes. But Emily remains trapped in the past. Only after her death does the full truth finally come to light. Resolution. When the townspeople enter the locked upstairs room, they discover Homer Baron's corpse and a strand of Emily's grey hair. This shocking discovery resolves the mystery and exposes the tragic result of loneliness, control, and emotional isolation. Now, let's explore the deeper themes that emerge from this tragic story. One major theme is isolation. Emily is emotionally and socially alone. Another key theme is resistance to change. Emily represents the Old South, refusing to move forward. The story also explores power and control, especially through her father and later through Emily's actions. Love in this story becomes obsession, leading to destruction rather than happiness. Let's now look at how the story is told. The story is narrated using first-person plural, we. This unusual point of view represents the voice of the town. It creates distance, gossip, and judgment. Because of this, Emily is never allowed to speak for herself, which deepens the mystery and tragedy. Finally, let's examine Faulkner's style. Faulkner's style is complex but powerful. He uses non-linear narration to slowly uncover the truth. Gothic elements such as decay, death, and darkness create tension. Symbols: the house, the rose, the hair, deepen meaning. The story does not shock suddenly. It haunts gradually. A Rose for Emily is not just a story about murder. It is a story about loneliness, fear of change, and emotional imprisonment. William Faulkner reminds us that when people are isolated, ignored, and controlled, tragedy becomes inevitable. Miss Emily is not only guilty, she is also a victim of her society. Thank you for watching. Like, share, comment and subscribe for more clear and meaningful English literature lessons.